So as soon as WrestleMania was over, we started the build once again for another PLE, this time being the follow-up to WrestleMania being Backlash, 2025 Backlash taking place from St. Louis, Missouri. I said this before on a previous video. I'll say it again here for further clarification. Backlash this year, for me, really kind of came out of nowhere because it almost seems like we were just getting past WrestleMania, because after WrestleMania, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of left feeling a little fatigued, like, because we witnessed so much wrestling within that week that it's almost like I need like a little like 2-week break until we can kind of reassess the things. But immediately afterwards, we got the build for Backlash taking place with Cena and Orton. That's like the whole main selling point of this PLE, taking place from St. Louis, Missouri, from Randy Orton's hometown. And again, it kind of just crept up on us because immediately this coming weekend Backlash is taking place. Now, a lot has been said about this Backlash card. A lot has been said whether this is even feeling like a PLE, because you have matches on here such as Gunther and Pat McAfee and Jey Uso against Logan Paul. But again, this for me, it's like this can go either way. It could either be a actually like solid PLE, like a decent PLE, or like one of the worst that we've seen, because you know the matches here, we'll see with the matches how they come out. But so far, I think we have a 5 or 6 match card here thus far. Again, they could add some more matches during the week. I'm recording this the Sunday before Backlash, so we still have Raw and SmackDown to get through. So they may add 1 or 2 matches on that card. But, you know, with Triple H, he usually sticks to his 5-match format. Whether he's going to add a 6th match is still yet to be determined. But I've come up here with the 5 matches that we have had announced thus far for this PLE. So we're going to start off here first with Lyra Valkyria against Becky Lynch. Really, like I said before, they did this heel turn with Becky Lynch sort of instantly. They had her turn against Lyra the night after WrestleMania when they lost the tag team titles. Going into this, I 100% go with Becky Lynch to win the Intercontinental Championship, because like I said before, not to put down Lyra, but her title reign really hasn't stood out compared to, you know, the world champions on that show. And if you want that Intercontinental Championship to be almost taken seriously, you kind of have to put it on a major like name, a major star that's already been proven. And Becky Lynch is that major star that has been proven. We'll add some life into that division. Of course, we'll probably get the return of Bayley down the road. Maybe there'll be a feud between Bayley and Becky. But eventually, I do see Lyra beating Becky once again for the IC title. But at Backlash, I am going to stick with Becky Lynch becoming the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. We're going to move on to the men's mid-card division, that being Jacob Fatu against Drew McIntyre against LA Knight against Damian Priest for the United States Championship. Of course, going into this, I 100% suspect that Jacob Fatu is still going to retain the United States Championship. I do believe, however, that this match is probably going to steal the show between all 4 men. All 4 men will continuously go in there and kill it on PLEs, so I expect nothing less from these 4 men. Next, we're going to move on to Pat McAfee against Gunther. This match is very divisive. A lot of people, if you're a Gunther fan, are kind of stressing, like, you know, why is Gunther facing an announcer? Why is Gunther wasting his time with an announcer? I believe that there's probably a overarching story that is probably going to be told, and that's going to be probably the return of Goldberg. I don't think Goldberg is going to return at Backlash, but I think over the next coming months, we're probably going to get that Goldberg and Gunther feud down the road. But as far as this match goes, I 100% suspect that Gunther is going to go in there and get the win. For me, if I was booking this, I would have Gunther go in there 5 minutes or less, squash this guy, squash Pat McAfee, leave him kind of how he left Jimmy Uso. But then again, they might have this match be a little competitive, maybe 8 minutes, maybe the last 4 minutes. Gunther really, you know, amplifies the offense against Pat McAfee. But like I said, if I was booking this, Gunther squashing Pat McAfee 100%. Next, we have the World Heavyweight Championship between Jey Uso and Logan Paul. To my knowledge, I'm not really sure if this match has been 100% confirmed for Backlash, but I'm still going to add it here because I would assume it's going to take place at Backlash rather than just some episode of Raw. But regardless, Jey Uso against Logan Paul. A lot of people really clowning this match, you know, just taking a look at the two participants in this match. I think going into this, Jey Uso is obviously going to get the win. I think, like I said before, Logan Paul is the perfect guy to take the pin from Jey Uso because everybody else is, quite frankly, occupied with their own sort of stories. So I think for a first sort of filler victim for Jey Uso, I think Logan Paul is the right choice. And lastly, we move on to the main event. That'd be John Cena against Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Now listen, I am one of the biggest John Cena fans out there, and I'm a big Randy Orton fan as well. But, you know, when this match was announced following the WrestleMania match that Cena had with Cody, I was a little hesitant, you know, and I still am hesitant as far as this match goes. This match is solely going to depend on what the crowd, you know, how the crowd reacts to this match. And I assume the crowd is going to react on fire for this match. So I think at best this match could be like a 3-star match or something like that. But again, this whole, for me, I've really enjoyed the promos between Randy and Cena. I think those are excellent. I think those two guys are, like, you're not going to be disappointed with the promos that Cena and Orton give. But as far as the match goes, I am really terrified as to what's going to, you know, take place during that match, because we saw Cena and Cody. That wasn't any good. You know, Randy Orton at this point, you know, he's obviously older. He's not in there with a Gunther. He's not in there with somebody who can bump around for him. He's in there with John Cena, a 48, 47-year-old John Cena, you know, on his last retirement run. So I'm kind of scared whether or not this, you know, is actually going to be any good or not. But regardless, as far as the win, I think John Cena is obviously going to take the win here. He's obviously going to retain in some form or fashion. I don't know how he's going to retain, because I don't know if he's going to win straight up. I think, you know, we haven't seen him win straight up. He got an assist from Travis Scott at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins helped him out at the Elimination Chamber. We haven't seen Cena win clean thus far. And you could say, well, that's kind of heelish. You know, he's a heel. He's not supposed to win clean. But it's like, if he doesn't win clean, then, you know, what credibility does he have as a champion? I hope to God we don't see Travis Scott come out there once again, because Travis Scott at this point has go away heat with 90% of the crowd. So I don't know how they're going to get John Cena to go over Randy Orton. I've heard people say that they want John Cena to do the No Way Out 2008 spot where he slaps the referee and gets the match disqualified. I feel like if you're going to do that for the last time, because they're promoting this as the last time between Randy Orton and John Cena, I feel like if you're going to do that, that's going to leave such a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. But regardless, these are my Backlash 2025 predictions. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know your thoughts and your reactions to the Backlash card, what we're going to see at Backlash. And until next time, take care, and I will see all of you on the next one.